Hawaii Governor Neil Abercrombie can't locate the document he said would prove Obama's citizenship. Now what is the big question? I just don't get this. We have on board with me David Pakman, liberal host of the internationally syndicated radio and TV program, The David Pakman Show, again heard in over 120 cities and towns on DirecTV and Dish Network, and also at davidpakman.com. David, good to have you back.
Thank you.
Let me share this with you, buddy, because I can't make this stuff up. It's just straight out of the Daily Mail, and they in turn incorporated the Honolulu Star Advertiser. The headline is this: Hawaii governor claims record of Obama's birth exists in archives but can't produce the vital document. Pressure was mounting on Hawaii Governor Neil Abercrombie today amid increasing confusion over whether President Obama was born there. Abercrombie said on Tuesday that an investigation had unearthed papers proving Obama was born in Hawaii in 1961. I should parenthetically reference he's been a true believer in Obama, has protected him all the way, defended him all the way, and just said, I'm tired of our president getting reamed out about this. I'm going to take action on my own and make this go away. But his actions have had sort of a backfiring impact. To go on to the article, he told Honolulu Star Advertiser, quote, "It actually exists in the archives written down," he said, unquote. Here's the rest of it. But it became apparent that what had been discovered was an unspecified listing or notation of Obama's birth, and that someone had made in the state archives and not a birth certificate. I want to repeat that. But it became apparent that what had been discovered was an unspecified listing or notation of Obama's birth that someone had made in the state archives and not a birth certificate. And in the same interview, Abercrombie suggested that a long-form hospital-generated birth certificate for Barack Obama may not exist within the vital records maintained by the Hawaii Department of Health. He said his efforts are still being made to track down definitive vital records that would prove Obama was born in Hawaii. Now, David, to you, I mean, the birthers had been pretty well undercut, and then you have Abercrombie, deciding to pick this up, put it center stage, when there was really seemingly no reason to do so, but now he's brought in more doubt than had previously existed. What's your sense of this?
Yeah, that may be the case. I really don't care about Neil Abercrombie. I'm embarrassed that the birther story even holds the amount of clout that it does, which isn't much, but it still exists. I've interviewed the queen of the birther movement, Orly Tates, a couple of times. She made every claim from Barack Obama's people let the air out of her tires to manipulated her bank accounts. It's incredible to me, especially given that we've seen the so-called short-form birth certificate, but now people want the long form, that this is even a discussion of validity. And an indicator I look at is a recent poll which looked at what misconceptions do people have based on where they get their news. Fox News viewers, overwhelmingly compared to other viewers of other networks, believe that Barack Obama may not have been born in the United States. It's an embarrassing story. There's so many more important things to talk about.
Well, there are until there aren't. I mean, by that measure, we could take any argument and expand it into a multitude of other arguments, allowing someone to escape from their half of the original rub, which has still not been defended. If it is indeed a constitutional requirement that you be a natural-born citizen, then it should be incumbent upon you to prove that you are one. Now, I personally think he is. But
right.
The reality is, the certificate of a live birth is not the same as a birth certificate. And during the time Obama was born, everybody was routinely issued a long-form birth certificate. Now, you can't say that that an outrage exists here because, how can I put it, exposing an outrage does not an outrage make. Stopping an outlandish act does not an outlandish act make. All this guy has to do is come forward with that which satisfies the Constitution, and then we can all go on about our business. But to blame everybody else for something that he's failed to do doesn't seem to be very presidential. What's your sense of it?
Yeah, it's not a question of what is his responsibility. We have seen the short form birth certificate.
Which is not enough. Which doesn't prove it.
Not enough.
It's not enough for anybody. Everybody gets a long form birth certificate during that time frame. He can't produce one. Abercrombie, on good faith, who's a Democrat and a devout Obama supporter, wanted to put at rest these rumors by saying, of course it all exists, and I'm going to go in there and get it. He couldn't find it.
Yeah, if you're looking for me to defend Abercrombie, I'm not going to. Abercrombie just doesn't figure into this for me. It's just incredible to me. I'm
looking for you to admit that nobody gets to dodge a constitutional accountability. Nobody gets to dodge a constitutional standard. And if it's incumbent upon someone to prove that they're a natural-born citizen in order to be a president, and they don't have the wherewithal to do it, It's not incumbent upon the rest of us, in the name of some civility or broad-mindedness, to just let that go by. We have to acknowledge that he is yet to prove that he is a natural-born citizen, if in fact this is the standard.
Let's just think about this for a second. Barack Obama has not proven to birthers that he is qualified to be president or eligible, but he has proven, because he has been sworn in, to those who are deciding, can we swear Barack Obama in? Can he be a nominee for president? Can he be elected? So I could not care less whether Orly Tates or any other birthers believe Barack Obama has proven it to them, and he has no responsibility to prove it to them. It's a bogus story. He has been sworn in. Nobody who is in charge of administering the election or the swearing in or the White House thinks there's an issue. I believe there's nothing to talk about.
With all due respect, you're denotatively or connotatively confusing the definitions of convincing versus proving. He can successfully convince folks. That's fine. But that's not analogous to proving. Proving is when you do something that's empirically verifiable, and that nobody, regardless of their preferences for you or against you, can debate. And the reality is, convincing people is one thing, proving is another. And if it's a constitutional standard, that's the standard that has to be met, not the ability to just convince people that, oh, even though I can't show you the proof, please take it upon my word that I am. And, oh, look, most people believe that I am, so therefore I have reached the standard necessary. No. I'm sorry, but once standards become predicated on never-ending variables, they cease to become standards. That's my estimation.
This is the exact same argument that I just heard on The View. Sherry Shepard says, listen, some people believe it has been proved that the Earth is round, and many people believe that. I've never gone out into outer space. It has not been proven to me. So even when we're playing the semantic game of convince versus prove, to me, in this case, is nonsense. Obama's the president. He's not a Muslim. He's not Native American. He's not Kenyan. Let's move on, please.
I said what I stated to be inferred as nothing more or less than what I conveyed. Your projections are not my grounds to defend. I'm not talking about him being a Muslim or anything of that, or all the other accoutrements you incorporated. My specific point is this. While I can't prove that there's an ice cream truck floating around Saturn, and therefore by default I can't prove a negative, that's not the same as saying whether or not somebody has successfully satisfied that which is constitutionally required. That's a standard, and that's a whole different animal. That doesn't fall in line with the normal, oh, you can't prove a negative. Before you and I get to do certain things in this country, we have to show identification to prove that we're entitled to do so. You want to drive a car? Show me a license that means you can do it. All right? I'm not supposed to be able to, I'm not supposed to, or I should say, I shouldn't be allowed to get away with driving just because I can rhetorically convince you that the odds are likely that I have a driver's license. No, it's incumbent upon me to actually show it to you. But I'll tell you what, I don't want to get lost in that area either, because I too believe that he is a citizen, but I'm saying he has still technically failed to meet what is constitutionally required when looking at the word proof versus just convince.
I think that is bogus. Do you believe he has not proved it to the satisfaction of the Federal Election Committee? I mean, he has not proven it to birthers, but that is not a burden of proof that exists with his office.
I don't care about the birthers. Their needs, I don't have to carry their water because I'm not with them. It's possible that people who don't agree on very much at all might accidentally be on the same page about a particular thing. If it's constitutionally required that you prove that you're a natural-born citizen, and it is required that you prove it, you don't just get to say it and have us all believe it. Don't forget the Democrats were very, very arduous in their efforts to challenge whether or not John McCain was even eligible, because he was technically born in an area that's a government enclave, but not on terra firma USA. So If we can go to such lengths where he is concerned, it's not unreasonable to expect that Barack Obama be subjected to at least those same standards. But we don't have much time left. I want to get in one real quick question with you fast. One real quick question with you. Do you believe it's possible for this Congress, if for no other reason than the dire straits in which we now find ourselves, to actually come together and pass some kind of legislation that brings about meaningful cuts without necessarily hurting the nation? Do you think that's within our reach?
I say it is because I am a natural optimist. Will it happen? How likely is it? What needs to happen to get there? I couldn't even begin to tell you.
And what do you think will prove to be the greatest impediment, I should say?
Well, just the partisanship that we have seen that exists, the partisanship that Barack Obama should have skipped over during his first 2 years to pass legislation that was important to him and his base, as opposed to trying to play to both sides.
And just with 30 seconds left, in the age of civility, first out of the gate, we heard from Congressman Cohn out of Tennessee, likening people who objected to Obamacare or the health reform bill as being akin to Nazis. Do you think that was a good idea?
Anytime a comparison is made to Nazis, I don't like it coming from either side. I don't like any of those comparisons.
If I agreed with you anymore, I'd be a tape recorder. And, folks, I got to tell you something. There's a whole host of other areas in which he and I are in full agreement. We've just had a little tussle tonight. David Pakman, thanks again, buddy. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend, folks. Battle Line, Main Street.